off stream, Steadfast. And I know, I'm an American with an American education, which means my math is pretty terrible generally, but I think I figured out what needs to happen because Group B is so weird. Let's intro our players first and foremost. Steadfast, I'm going to be on your camera for this game. I'm going to be a little bit lazy. I'm going to sit back. And why don't you tell us who our first player is?
Well, now that I have the keys, I'm going to drive us through this one, spawning up in the top left position of Death Aura. It is the blue Protoss player from Cascade. Give it up for GunGFuBanDa.
And his opponent in that bottom right-hand position of Death Aura, it's our red, French, Terran player. He is known as the Little Corporal, playing from Team Liquid. It's Clem.
And right off the bat, we have something a little bit sneaky right here. A gas first and a kind of a hidden SCV pad. This is feeling like an NG Bay block. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Bing, bang, boom.
Very nicely done there by Clem. He's going to slow down GunGfu quite a bit. GunGfu starting with one gateway and one gas as well. So was probably hoping to drop that Nexus. You can see his income up over 400 already, and he's going to have to scramble. Going for a Cyber Core instead. What I want to point out really quickly before we get too deep into this game, because it does look like it's going to be interesting from the get-go, Clem and E-Laser currently in the first and second spots. GunGfu and Showtime currently in the third and fourth spots. And would you believe it? You couldn't have planned this out if you tried, Steadfast. Clem is playing GunGfu, so it's 1 versus 3. And E-Laser today playing Showtime, so it's 2 versus 4. Also, that SCV is just a mad lad. Unbelievable if it's still alive here. Absolutely crazy. That's so good.
Oh my god.
So good. So, if Clem wants to maintain his #1 spot, he has to win at least one game here. If he wins one game against GunGfu, he's actually guaranteed that first place spot. Nice, finally got it. If Clem wins one game, he's guaranteed that first place spot because the first, it's match score, and then the first tiebreaker after even match scores is differential in maps. Clem is currently 2 games ahead of E-Laser. So if, actually, I think Clem beat E-Laser, didn't he? So it doesn't matter.
Well, that is important because the number of games ahead is important. So I believe you're right about the 2 games ahead. The head-to-head does mean that it matters it matters how many games a laser needs to make up.
Right.
So now he needs to make up effectively 3 games and win the series, and Clem has to lose the series.
Yes. So it's going to be very close here. If E-Laser wins, he'll be 12-5. And if Clem loses, he'll be 12 if E-Laser wins, he'll be 12-3. And if Clem wins 2-0, loses 0-2, he'll be 12-5. So still possible for these guys to swap places, but as long as Clem wins 1, he should be safe, even if E-Laser goes for a clean 2-0. It's going to be such an interesting matchup, though. I can't wait to see. And then, of course, GunGfu and Showtime are both very close. Showtime, I think, is stuck in that 3rd or 4th spot, but GunGfu, I'm actually not sure if he can move either. Anyway, a lot of math to do on the last day, but we'll see what these players end up with. Going to be really interesting to see who stays in first and second here between Clem and E-Laser. Little Hellion pressure here, nothing too bad from Clem. Starport back home and Stim on the way. Looking like a pretty strong bio push here, Steadfast, with a double Rax opener before going into the 1-1-1 after that.
Yeah, he opens up with 2 Hellions to maybe see if he can get something done, get a little bit of scouting information. And then behind that, he's going into a 2-1-1, as you said. Very, very interesting little... Oh, okay. Huh, so he's actually not going to get double medevac here. He's going to go for, I assume, a Raven first. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
And, well, there's no bunker back home. There will be a good number of Marines, but Stim is not going to be done, and this is going to be a pretty big commitment coming out of GunGFuBanDa. He proxies that gateway, going to be going for a little bit of a 3-gate pressure here, and this could be a little bit tricky with no Marauders on the field.
Yeah, I love this from GunGfu. You know, 3-gate pressure's a nice middle ground. You still get some early damage done, but you're not as all-in as if you go for a 4-gate. And this many Stalkers, as we see, can just almost one-shot a Hellion there. And they're getting Marines picked off left and right here. Clem actually losing an awful lot. He's going to be forced to pull SCVs here, Steadfast. And this is some great, great target firing from GunGfu. Look at that. Hasn't lost a Stalker yet. Only 1 Stalker very low, but he's mowing down these Marines left and right. Great focus fire, not wasting a lot of Stalker shots. Even the auto turret from the Raven here is not going to be enough. Finally, Clem gets on top, but there are more Stalkers coming in from the back, Steadfast.
Ooh, but he target fires down that Marauder. This is actually a huge overextension from Clem. He did not expect that Marauder to be target fired by GunGFuBanDa right there, and this is actually going to make this defense untenable. He's going to have to sacrifice the natural. Ooh. And honest, I don't like this decision to push up, but he will target fire the other Marauder that just popped out. Excellent moves from GunGfu. I think he's a little bit too... I think he's trying to get too much done. I would focus on trying to take care of the natural, maybe force it to lift off, and then when they come down the ramp, go from there. But he is still in a great position right now.
He really is, adding on 2 more gates back home, working on Blink. The Hellion goes down. Finally, a tank out for Clem, which means that these Stalkers won't be able to push up into the main base until Blink is finished up. If he can catch this tank unsieged, it could be a big deal. Clem inching forward, though, playing very, very cautiously. And like I said, this is going to slow down GunGFu just a little bit until he's able to get Blink and Blink on top of the tank. And this is exactly what you talked about earlier, Steadfast. A bit of an overextension there. Finally, with the Marauder out, the auto turret from the Raven, Clem able to secure his position, but let's take a look at the units lost tab, and in honor of Vanna White, or I guess whoever runs Price is Right these days, Steadfast, can you tell him what Clem has lost?
Clem has lost 4 Marauders, 13 Marines, 11 SCVs, and 2 Hellions.
Wow. That's an awful lot. The resources lost tab about even, Steadfast. Do you think this push from GunGFu was a good idea, and do you think continuing to push with Blink into the main is a good idea?
I think this push was a great idea overall. He did overcommit a little bit, but the Blink now is going to make this so difficult to deal with.
Oh, God.
Of course, these tanks are very well positioned, but Clem, a little bit supply blocked right here. Oh, wow, a very aggressive stim. That was not the play, and now the Blunk, he's getting blunked on. These Marauders will get taken out. I think only a single stalker for almost very nearly that entire Bioforce, and we see the units lost just sprung way back in favor of GunGFuBanDa right there.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great push there from GunGFu. A little pressure on the other side of the map in the natural right now. Looks like that Raven doing some auto harass, but this is what we talked about earlier, that once that Blink is done, you can jump on top of tanks and do some good damage. A bit of a slow pull on the other side. GunGFu loses 4 probes of his own, but he is so far ahead right now on 3 bases, on almost 50 probes. He's 10 workers ahead, working on Zealots now, getting charged. This is so surprising here from GunGFu. The continued pressure is incredible, and man, if he could force field that ramp, that would just be sick, but there are no sentries out. I'm a little surprised GunGFu isn't going for a force field there, Steadfast.
If he gets some sentries, I think that would be really, really healthy, really strong. Oh, as I say that, though, nice target fire on those Marauders once again. Tanks are helping a lot in the backfield. Where are the Zealots? They're a little bit late to unload, but Will charge connects at the very last second and forces out a little bit of friendly fire. 10 more SCVs going down, and GunGFu behind this. He's got a 3rd Nexus done. He is pumping out probes, and he is about to be up 20 workers with more gateways, a forge, and shield batteries on the way. He is so far ahead right now, and he might just break Clem right here.
7, count them, 7 gateways. Target fire on the tank, individual blinks back. The tank goes down. Clem's tank count down to just 1 now. The Warp Prism barely still alive. What a save from GunGFu, and he gets aggressively blunked on again. This is really, really nice pushes from GunGFu right now. I'm amazed he's keeping this pressure on. Even if he doesn't win this, even if he gets pushed away, even if he has a bad engagement, Steadfast, and loses every stalker on the map, he's still on 3 bases. He's still ahead of Clem, and his economy looks just beautiful. There's no 3rd base for Clem. He's pushing everything into tanks and bio. Drop onto the top of the tank here, and 1 tank going to go down immediately. Nicely done here by GunGFu.
That is what he was looking for before, an exposed tank in the backfield, and this time he does find it, and now he's going to blink forward on this bunker. The pull is pretty quick, but there wasn't enough surface area, and that is more and more of the defenses of Clem being knocked down, battered. And, well, we will see this army kind of getting chased back, but with more charge lots closing in behind us, and a very low Bioforce in terms of HP. We are going to see GunGFu again pushing the issue. Tanks are going to get taken out. Oh, is there a repair on that one? No, okay, it does finally get taken out. All the Stalkers, though, did go down, and that was actually a really nice defensive fight for Clem, but GunGFu is still in a really great position overall.
Yeah, you may be watching this and wondering, like, wait a minute, how is Clem defending now? He was in so much trouble before, and with a better economy, surely GunGFu's attack should be better. Look at the upgrades tab, guys. +1 finished up for Clem about halfway through that attack, and he was able to get stim and combat shields as well. So he's got a slightly more holistic army than GunGFu does, which is good for Clem. It's great. He defended. Wonderful. The bad news is GunGFu is keeping this pressure on. As we said earlier, his 3rd base is down. He's even going into a Robo Bay behind this to transition into either Disruptor or Colossi. Honestly, either would be fine here. It's kind of dealer's choice at this point, as GunGFu has a really solid hold on this game. This is not the game 1 that Clem was looking for. This is a bit of an overextension, though. Tank on the ramp. Charge Lot's not going to be able to get very good stuff done. With Concussive Shells finished up, a lot of units going to go down here. That's not the trait GunGFu was looking for. It's time for him to go home. Well,
it is,
kind of.
but he is now going to get into the main base with a Warpin and is going to be able to grab 7 SCVs, a good number of these units, and, well, it looks like he lost everything in the middle of the map. He is going to force Clem back a little bit with this army. Tank is going to pop out. Will it be able to get microed back? It is just a couple shots away, and it will get taken down. That medevac had dreams and hopes of saving it, but not going to be able to do so. Viking will ward away this War Prism. Looks like Recall did get quite a few of those Zealots out. Actually, yeah, that's a kind of a big deal because GunGFu's army supply is pretty low, and that War Prism did go down to the Viking right there.
Yeah, it did. That Viking always a nice choice if you can get it out in time. It really helps defend against War Prisms and stuff. And obviously with Colossi on the way, more Vikings should be coming soon. But if we take a look at Clem's vision here, he actually has not seen much in the main base of GunGFuBanDa. Just really quickly, we can see he has seen. Oh, pardon me. He has seen the Robo Bay, but he doesn't know if it's Colossi or Disruptor, so it's going to be a tough spot for Clem to be in as the game goes on. He needs to prep for this Disruptor, but he's got very few Vikings on the map. In fact, his Viking count is at, what, 1 Steadfast, 1 Viking. Obviously, Ghost Academy, ages away. GunGFu doing some nice damage here, and even drawing some tank fire onto this poor Marauder who's going to get friendly fired to death by the tank, and some more SCVs going to eat some shots as well. Here's the push from Clem, Steadfast. What does GunGFu need to do to defend?
Oh, he needed to be in position. He loses that cannon very quickly, as well as the shield battery that was overcharged. Colossus, left a little bit exposed, will get taken out. Now, nice pickup from Clem, gonna go back over those force fields as the Archons were closing in, but now this tank will get taken out, and GunGFu is gonna push back Clem, but this was a really successful push for Clem. He still needs to save these units, and that is gonna be a bit of a tall order, but nice job ducking up over that cliff. And we'll be able to get out the majority of those bio units.
Yeah, fabulous moves there from Clem, not quite accomplishing what he wanted to, which was the complete destruction of that third 12 o'clock base from GunGFuBanDa. And GunGFu realizing that, hey, wait a minute, you just had some aggression, I pushed it away, that likely means you can't aggress too soon, I'm gonna grab a 4th base. And as Clem gets his 3rd base saturated up and starts working on a Ghost Academy, GunGFu's 4th base, his +2 now in production, another Warp Prism coming down, GunGFu just doing everything right now, Steadfast. I love the transition into Archons from here as well. Charge Lot Archons so strong. Colossi can be easily countered by Vikings, but there's no, like, simple answer to Charge Lot Archon. I mean, you just gotta hope that you can micro really well. GunGFu's building up a very difficult army to counter, and he's still, if we look at the income tab, way ahead.
Yeah, now he has not been building probes as aggressively as he could. If this was Estrella, he'd be on 85 probes right now. But GunGFu choosing to go a lot more the aggressive route, and it has kind of backfired on him a little bit. He may be able to still win the game even right now. As you said, the Viking count very, very low, and the Ghost count not built up just yet, but he could be in such a bigger economic lead. But this is a big concave with a lot of Marauders. Nice EMP will help out against these Archons, but beautiful hot pickups on that War Prism. There we go. Warping of Charge Pods coming in, but the Colossus getting saved in the War Prism.
My god, both Colossi still alive. The army supply actually still in favor of Clem here, but GunGFu's +2 is finished up. His +3 now on the way. And he is keeping this pressure on. A good EMP there. Finally, the Ghosts from Clem making an appearance. This is a good defense, but he cannot afford to lose this economy. Even again, if GunGFu gets pushed away, just like the beginning of the game, even if he gets pushed away, this economy from Clem has still been crippled. He's at 48 SCVs now to 68 probes on the other side. His 3rd base under duress, GunGFu's 4th not even touched.
That was such incredible micro out of GunGFuBanDa, keeping those Colossi alive. If those Colossi go down, and they are both deep in the red, I assure you, this push would have absolutely collapsed. The tanks in the back would have been able to hold on, but GunGFuBanDa keeping those alive when I'm sure Clem was not expecting him to be able to do so is what makes the difference there. And both these Colossus, look at that, 23 HP, 19 HP, and now their shields are regenerating.
It's incredible stuff, and something else that's really helping GunGFu here that we haven't talked about yet for a while are the upgrades. Clem has just been so busy pumping out units. Look at his bank. There's nothing in there. He has to build constant tanks and Marines to rebuild his army, has to continue building SCVs to try and pump that up, which means the upgrades have slipped. GunGFu about to finish up +3. Whereas Clem's stuck on 1-1 here. He's doing a good job defending, but GunGFu is just keeping this pressure on in an incredible way. A good EMP from Clem, gonna push that away, but now it's DT o'clock in that 3rd base.
Yes, it is. And even a couple zealots here to help out as well. Oh, the scan comes down. DT, get out of there. It's not going to get out of there. But that is because GunGFu is focusing on pushing in to try and end the game. There wasn't DT with that army scan. Does keep take it out. Oh, no save on that Colossus. The other one is going to... not yet target fired.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Clem forced back again. Those two Colossi still unbelievably alive. GunGFu in complete control of this game. And look, Clem is still in it because he's an amazing player, an incredible talent. But this is a very difficult position to play from. Behind in economy, behind in army supply, behind in upgrades, behind in bases. Steadfast, what does Clem have going for him? How is he still in this game?
He is a literal god.
There we go.
And that is the only virtue by which he is still alive. But because he's been so far behind economically, he goes for a 4th base as an orbital command, and that means no planetary on which to anchor this defense, and that may be his undoing right here. 10, 11, 12 SCVs going down. Colossus hot picked up again, and GunGFuBanDa is going to upset Clem in game number 1. What an incredible, incredible result right here.
Wow, holy crap, Steadfast. Not what anyone would have called. I saw in the chat earlier, people like, it's an easy 2-0 for Clem. Guys, StarCraft is not that simple. If it was an easy 2-0 for Clem and we knew it, we wouldn't even be playing this tournament. We just give him $10,000. Be like, hey, Clem, thanks for being great. Here's some money. Damn, GunGFu played so well, Steadfast. The constant aggression, the constant pressure. Clem, again, showing us that he is a literal god, staying alive for 10 minutes longer than anyone else would have in that situation. Steadfast, what was GunGFu's strategy there? And why, I guess, why was his aggressive strategy so efficient against Clem? Why did it work so well?
Well, he kind of got a little bit lucky on the build orders. Maybe not lucky, but well, actually, no. Yeah, a little bit.
Sure.
Got a little bit lucky. The fact that Clem was going for the gas first build and the NG Bay block and did not build a bunker defensively, which meant that stalker pressure was able to get so much done. And I think Clem, he was caught off guard a little bit by the precise target fire and micro of those stalkers.
Yeah.
And that is, there's actually 2 instances in this game where it felt like Clem was so close to breaking the pushes, but the unexpectedly precise and exquisite micro out of GunGFuBanDa just barely kept some really key units alive, and that was enough to completely swing the tide. I'm looking at these fights over again, and the number of times that a Colossus survived with yellow or red HP.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like 7 engagements, 7 situations during separate engagements where that happened. And anytime a Colossus receives, 800-900 damage throughout its life and still stays alive, that's a value Colossus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That speaks not just to maybe a bit of a mistake from Clem there, but an absolutely beautiful play from GunGFu. Look, if you guys know what you're doing with a really nice army supply, you can zone the Terran player out like that. It's not easy to do, but GunGFu did it really well. You zone him out, you save the Colossus, and GunGFu just looked absolutely phenomenal there in game number 1. And now, Steadfast, the pressure is genuinely on for Clem. As we said, the only reason that he's still in first place is that his BAP score is really good, and if he loses this one, there's a chance that Elaser can overtake him. Let me ask in really quickly, who won Elaser Showtime game 1? We'll see if somebody can tell us. If Elaser won that game 1, Clem is seriously in trouble here.
Yeah. Oh, and he did. Oh, damn.
Elaser won game number 1.
Oh my god. Elaser is cheering so hard for GunGFuBanDa, harder than he has ever cheered for a player in his life.
And GunGFu doing the same. The most unlikely of alliances. The enemy of my enemy, truly my friend here. This is going to be so fascinating. I'm so jazzed. It looks like the players are ready to go. Clem and GunGFu bantering in the lobby a little bit, and they should be going here pretty quick. Oxide LE is our next map. I'm trying to see whose map choice this is. Always interesting when you see what the picks and bans are. Oh, they're not showing us today because the players are doing it privately. Okay, never mind. So we don't know whose map choice this is. Oxide LE, I'm going to guess it's... Well, because the higher seeded player gets to choose A or B. Probably more likely that Clem chose Oxide, I would imagine. I think he usually likes to go B, right?
I actually don't know enough about Clem's picks.
I think so. In the tournaments I've had, if he has the option, he'll usually pick to be the B player, which is a little odd. But anyway, Oxide LE, we're counting down now, Steadfast. And oh, man, Steadfast, if you had to make a call here, what is your heart telling you?
My heart is telling me that Clem is pissed, and he is going to come out swinging harder than we've seen him for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's probably definitely true. Let's hop into game number 2 and see if he can manifest that anger into a win, or if he might potentially put himself in a position to be knocked down to second place. Steadfast, who's our first player?
We have spawning up in the top right position, fighting like his family depends on it. It is the blue Protoss player from Cascade. Give it up for GunGFuBanDa.
And his opponent, the bottom left-hand side in the red, repping France and Team Liquid. It is the little corporal himself, Clem.
And he is once again going to go for a gas first. And it looks like another engineering bay block. This is pretty interesting. And it looks like GunGFuBanDa also going for a pretty quick probe scout. No, I guess that's not that quick, but I don't know. It's taking like a weird route to me.
Taking a very weird route, yeah.
I guess that's just Oxide. I guess that's just how the map works. But it always looks so weird when it goes like sharply to one side. Yeah, that was a totally normal. Yeah, that's just Oxide. That's me completely miscalling that. Once again, though, this engineering bay block is going to get up. And Clem, this time he does have the 10 health SCV, and he is going to be able to escape with that. We're not going to see, a Benny Hill chase
like we did last time with the greased up SCV.
Exactly, greased up naked SCV.
That's right. Slipping and sliding through those probes. Good cancel there from Clem, and GunGFu should be able to get this natural down pretty quickly here. Cybercore already about halfway done. Tier 2 tech-wise, there's still no second gas, so it's a pretty late second gas from GunGFu. In fact, a very late second gas from GunGFu. Normally, the rule when you're playing as Protoss, is that at 21 probes, that's when you want your second gas to go down. And actually, GunGFu at 22 probes now, so he's prioritizing that Nexus and warp gate research over the second gas. There it is, finally. Very late second gas, very early Nexus there for GunGFu. A little bit of a greedy play, but as you showed us just a moment ago, Steadfast, a cheeky little SCV waiting in that top corner of the map.
Yes, it is. And, this find. He's going to find the SCV, and he's going to take it out. What a brilliant little find right there. That was almost definitely going to be a proxy starport.
What? Okay, that's very strange. Definitely, as you said, shutting down that proxy starport, was looking to do a Hellion drop into the natural or even main of GunGFu. And God, we cannot say how just incredible that was by GunGFu to spot that. If you don't spot the Hellion drop, it can be so dangerous. Steadfast as a Zerg player, you're like, you don't have to tell me how hard it is when a Hellions get into your main and you don't expect them. But even amazing players like GunGFuBanDa, Hellion drops can be so, I don't want to say random, but just so spotty with how the splash damage works and like the repositioning of your probes and stuff. If you don't see it coming, it's a big question mark as to whether you lose 2 probes and get lucky or 15 probes and just lose the game. So what a scout. And of course, Clem, instead of building a starport, going to go for a second barracks again back home. This looks to be a very similar build to what he did last game. Barracks, factory, second barracks, and then starport.
Oh man, this is so cool. You may be thinking to yourself, this Reaper, no, that's got to be a misclick, right? No, it is not. He is looking to get a grenade on these units blocking the ramp and try and run on through. Oh, but the Phoenix Scout, the hallucinated Phoenix, is going to see this. And will we see another gateway or an attempt at a full wall here? I would really like to be honest. But we're not going to see that. And there's the grenade. Already the sentry being target fired down. And the run by is good. 2 probes immediately getting taken down. And the Hellions will get on into the main base.
Yeah, 2 Hellions going down before they get in. That's a little bit rough. You obviously want as much DPS as you can on the probes. Nice pull from GunGFuBanDa. But as we said, these Hellion run-bys can be so frustrating to deal with. Just the movement of the Hellion, the target firing gives them such a wide radius. Wow, grabs one more. It always reminds me of bishops in chess, where they attack such a large number of squares that it's very dangerous to like let them into the middle of the map. Once those Hellions get in, they can do damage in basically any random direction. So the radius of damage that a Hellion can do is actually massive. And then of course they target fire that into one line. But it makes it very easy for the attacker to get a little bit better pressure than the defender. Very difficult to dodge with all of your probes. Overall though, if we look at the units lost tab, 10 probes going down for 4 Hellions and a Reaper. Steadfast. Hashtag worth it? Hashtag not worth it.
Oh, absolutely worth it, for sure. Of course, we always talk about how mules are the great equalizer in terms of economy. But when you are, you know, within 1 or 2 workers of your opponent as Terran, they are the great unequalizer. They make up for that difference in a big way, and killing off 8 SCV or 8 probes,
yeah,
very much worth it. And it's not like we're talking about, you know, like a Drilling Claw Widow Mine drop, or like something where Clem was only on 1 base. Like, this was very much a macro build, a pressure build designed to get damage. But anytime you get that much damage, you are definitely happy as Clem.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I will say, GunGFu doing a pretty decent job behind this of diversifying his assets a little bit. A lot of times we'll see players get tunnel vision. They say, okay, I have to straight up macro out of this, or okay, I'm just going to build a bunch of army. And GunGFu taking a middle of the road approach here. Has that Dark Shrine finished up, going to get a DT, and of course there's already a missile turret from Clem, so he should be fine. But he's not just going like, all right, DTs or lose. He's getting a 3rd base, he's adding on charge, getting some more gates, and playing a pretty cautious, even, medium game so far. These DTs with a very odd pattern. Looks like maybe one of them trying to get into the natural. And where's that other DT going?
I think he's trying to spread them out,
yeah,
in case of a scan, but like he saw the turret, so
yeah,
that just doesn't work. Like, it's the theory behind it is very sound until you introduce that X format, X
factor,
X variable, X factor. The fact that there's a turret there changes everything. Oh, probe gets saved.
Man, I just want to point out, no matter how much that probe was saved by, that micro from Clem was unbelievable. Did you see that? It's not like, I remember in the early days of watching Terrans, back when StarCraft came out, we were all amazed when somebody could like click, fire, click away, fire, and Clem is just like microing perfectly where it looks like the Marine is constantly shooting. Just unbelievable technical prowess there. Clem's perspicacity is unmatched. The Zealot sees this push coming. It's going to hit the 3rd base like a truck Steadfast. The tank should be able to siege up in plenty of time here. It's going to be a very late defense from GunGFu, and Clem even setting up a bunker there to try and go for a harder contain. But with 3 tanks in the background here, there's not enough force fields to save this.
No, not even close. And that force field ends up actually helping Clem as much as anything. Scan comes down. He spots the shimmer at the immediate time that the DT shows up. That was so good from Clem. Oh my god, how is he so good at this game?
It's unfair, Steadfast. It's not fair to the rest of us, and we should handicap him like he's Harrison Bergeron. I just don't think it's fair. Clem draws the series even 1-1, and now it is all on the table, Steadfast. Oh, man, if Clem doesn't win this one, he's in trouble. The good news is he won 1 game, and I'm pretty sure, if my math is correct, Steadfast, that guarantees him the #1 spot. Even if he loses this, even if a laser wins his next one, I think what that means is that he still has a good enough win differential to be better than a laser or even with a laser. And since he beat a laser in the head-to-head, he's going to be just fine. In fact, with that 1 win differential, it's not head-to-head next. It's win differential and then number of wins before head-to-head. So, yeah, Clem gets it no matter what, because he's at 13 wins now. E-Laser can't get to 13 wins, and their differential can't be greater than 3. So with that win, Clem has secured his spot at the top of the bracket.
I actually think that if a laser 2-0s, he can still surpass if Clem goes 1-2, because that would make up 3 maps. And he, as long as a laser doesn't make up more than 2 maps, Clem is good. But if he makes up 3 maps, I believe a laser does pass him.
Yeah, a laser can't win 3 maps though.
But he can make up for 3 maps.
But in this scenario, Clem goes 2-1 and loses.
Oh no, I'm
1-2.
saying yeah.
Clem goes 1-2. That'll put him at 13-5. E-Laser goes 2-0. That'll put him at 12-3. That means their map differential will be 3 each, right? 13-5 is 8, and 12-3 is 9. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my god.
Yep. He still has to win this one. As far as he knows, a laser can still 2-0. I'm sure he doesn't think that that's likely, but you know, you got to play. He still controls his own destiny ultimately, which is the most important thing in these situations.
If he laser 2-0s and Clem loses this, he gets knocked out of first place. Okay, it's big on a laser. It's big on Clem. It's big on game 3. Steadfast, let's do it. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side of Romanticide LE. It is our blue Protoss player from Germany and Cascade Gaming. It's GunGFuBanDa.
And his opponent spawning up in the top left position for the first time this series, not going for a gas first.
Yeah.
It is the Red Terran player from Team Liquid, the little Frenchman, the little corporal. Give it up for Clem.
Love it. Clem's such a good player. Such a good player. I'm sure I've joked with you about this before, Steadfast, but we all know, I call Clem the little corporal because he is a diminutive guy. He's a little bit shorter. He's a young kid, obviously. And he's kind of small. He's a little bit thin, a little bit wiry, and we're all joking that when real life events come back, like we haven't seen Clem for a year now, and when we go to our next event, since he's going to basically hit maturity, he's going to hit the gym, he's going to be super jacked next time we see him. I think we're all hoping that he comes back and he's just like this monster of a human, and we'll be like, oh, it's little Clem. Oh my god, he's huge.
That would be awesome. It's like a Captain America thing. Like
amazing.
It's like pre-serum, post-serum, Steve Rogers.
What is there a Captain France? If not, I can sell a series to is it DC or Marvel? Whoever it is, whoever their competitor is.
Well, yeah, no, it'd be DC looking for that.
Yeah, because Marvel has Captain America, right? So it'd be Captain France, and it's just Clem. And instead of fighting crime, he just plays StarCraft. I'd buy that comic book. I know nobody else would, but I sure would. Steadfast.
It'd be pretty interesting for sure. Oh, this is really interesting. Look at this GunGFuBanDa, kind of like a hidden but not hidden. Like I would call this a PvP pylon.
It is
where you hide it out of your own base to hide it from your opponent.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And Clem's gonna pop up into the main base, and really all it's doing is telling Clem, hey, count the pylons, count them again. Did you count them? There's a pylon missing. Where is it? And now Clem is like, oh, now I gotta scout all over the map and try and find out where the missing pylon is. But that's if he even gets up into the main here. This is gonna be a really interesting defense by both these players. Look at that wiggle from that Reaper, staying alive, trying to get around this Adept. The Adept should be able to get a shot off once the Shade finishes, though. Oh, cancels the Shade. The Reaper should be able to get up into the main here and count the pylons. Clem, go, go, go!
Yeah, this is a situation where GunGFuBanDa kind of wants him to go up into the main a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't.
Oh, is Clem going to coincidentally find this pylon? That would be really funny, but no, not quite going to be the case.
Just misses it. Just misses it, Steadfast. And behind this, a 1-1-1. Got that reactor on the barrack this time, and it doesn't look like the factory's in position to move over and replace it. So I think that, Clem's just going to go for a very standard push. We got the Tech Lab finishing up on the factory, which probably means he's going to go for a Raven if he swaps over. Looks like standard stuff here. Twilight Council down for GunGFuBanDa.
Yeah, and well, now Clem gets the scout, and he will get a probe. The probes. Ooh, there we go. Look at this one probe. Where's the MVP? That's the one I've got selected right there.
Oh yeah.
This little guy. He's the one who locked the door right here and kept that Reaper locked in.
Oh, sorry, Steadfast. I was off your camera for just 1 minute. Because I have an update from Liquipedia. Are you ready, Steadfast?
What is the situation?
Showtime took a game off V-Laser. They're going into game 3 as well.
All right, there we go.
I think that's good for Clem. I think Clem has secured his spot as number 1, even if he loses this. I think. Again,
at this point,
B-Stream math, who knows?
Yeah, no, he has for sure. Because it does go to... before head-to-head, I think it might go to number of maps won.
Yeah, it is. So
which
map
Clem
differential.
Still has.
It's map differential and then number of maps won. So even if they're even, Clem's going to have more map wins overall. And I think that will guarantee him first place. But even though Clem has already guaranteed his first place, don't forget, this best of 3 is still worth $125 Steadfast. So there's still money on the line, and you're still highly incentivized to win this. $125 for a best of 3 is such a good rate, by the way. DreamHack is so generous with these prize pools.
Yes, they are, and I mean that means that even on one of the series that is going to be coming up on the Group D, between two players who have not yet won a series,
right?
That's still going to be basically a show match. And at the end of the day, you know, like, it's not like most of the people that are playing StarCraft are playing for the money. Maybe Stefano in his earlier career.
Maru plays for the money.
Yeah, true. But at the end of the day, you know, you got to make a living.
That's right.
And anytime you can kind of supplement that income a little bit, always a nice thing, and it keeps the motivation up.
I'll never forget that GSL interview where they're like, "Oh, what's your motivation for playing StarCraft 2?" And they were asking, I don't know, Classic or somebody, and he's like, "Oh, you know, it's an honorable career, and I've loved video games, and I'm passionate about it." And they asked Maru what he said, and they're like, "Maru, why do you play StarCraft 2?" And his response was just "done," which is just the Korean word for money, and that's all he said. He was just like, "done." And then the interviewer laughed and said, "You can't just say that." And he was like, "No, I play for the money because I like good money and I'm good at StarCraft, so I make money playing it. I play for the money. I like to make money playing StarCraft." He just said it in like 3 different ways, and I was like, "Oh, you cheeky bugger. Of course you did. Of course you did." GunGFu going for Colossus with no Phoenix in front of it here, so it is just going to be like a Gateway Colossus build, some charge lot, 4 more gates coming down for GunGFu, going up to 8 gates on 3 bases. Very standard, normal Protoss builds here. The Raven gets zoned out here. GunGFu playing pretty well so far, and honestly, Colossus pretty dang good against Bio Steadfast, but this is a lot of Bio on the map from Liquid Clem.
Yes, it is, and even a good number of tanks right here going to be helping out a lot against this Colossus style. GunGFuBanDa, very well known for digging his Colossus. Ooh, nice scan right there. Will kill that Observer that's kind of in that siege mode. And, oh, that's a sad Adept.
Yeah.
All right, Adept, go right into the middle of the Terran army and tell me what's up.
Somebody's got to do it. You know, he's going to get a certificate of bravery. His family will get a nice pension. Don't worry. Do Adepts have families? I don't know. Sure they do. Clem has a giant push coming in here. 69 army supply. Nice. To 49. 2 Colossus, but they're going to get jumped on right away. Interference Matrix going down on one of them as well. The second one going to get sniped here. Big stim from Clem. Oh, God.
Oh, that second one just barely getting saved. Extended Thermal Lance will finish up the battery overcharge. So clutch right there. And charge is done now. This is... Oh, man, this is still so tough. That army is very low on HP. Oh, smart move not taking down that robotics facility just yet. And there's just way too much stuff from Clem. Clem saying, "I control